Hey guys, this is Stephanie from Thinking of NSYNC. I'm here with Brad from LFO. Thank you for meeting with me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Um, so I have a lot of questions, but I guess the first question I would ask is, what's your favorite song to perform?
Well, that's a good question. I think I'd say "Baby Be Mine" was always one of our favorites to perform. We just added it to the Pop 2000 set, so we'll be playing that tonight. But
Okay.
West Side Story has always been one of our favorites as well.
Okay, awesome. And do you have any pre-performance rituals that you do?
If I have some space, um, I have several things that I like to do. Um, First of all, you got to steam your clothes, which I do it. I don't enjoy it. Once in a blue moon, we'll play a show where there's like a wardrobe person, and they'll be looking for something to do. Oh, you want me to steam your clothes for you? I'm like, yeah, please. So I do that, and then I have a tradition of giving thank you cards to all the crew people. So I'll start writing out my thank you cards,
That is so
and then if I
sweet.
have space, warm up what voice I have as best I can, and then maybe get like a little workout in just to get the blood flowing, you know.
Hmm.
And then it's nice to have a little bit of time just to quiet, put on some instrumental music and chill, or put on some like to get my mouth ready to rap. I'll put on some really awful rap music, and then I'll follow it with some Christian music, like an atonement for the sinfulness of listening to the really despicable lyrics of the rap. But
Uh-huh.
but at least it gets my mouth going.
Right, right. I love that. Um, So, what is your favorite 90s song, album, or artist? It could be any of them because I don't want to make it,
So from the boy band genre, you talking about?
or your own favorite 90s, anything from the 90s that you
Oh
consider
my
like your
gosh.
favorite,
I mean,
if you had to pick.
that's kind of a crazy question to ask somebody.
I know, I'm sorry. That's
Um,
why I said artist, album, or song.
there was a band called Travis, um, and they had an album called The Man Who. They were from England. And that was like one of my favorite albums. And I don't remember what year it was. And then there was a R&B group called Mista, M-I-S-T-A. They had
Hmm.
one album, and that was like really my thing in like 1997, listening to that a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Um, what's one thing you want LFO fans watching this to know today?
But everything I do related to LFO is simply to honor Rich, honor Devin, nurture the legacy, and bring all the fans back to a simpler time.
And we appreciate that because I know, like, being in my 40s now, like we love being able to still hear, throwbacks and things that like bring us back to those
Yeah,
days.
I think, like the purpose of music, I think, is to give people an escape from the realities of life, right?
Hmm.
So, unless you're a band that writes music that's, you know, protest music, that's what you do, then it's one thing. But for us, it's like we don't, we're not going to talk about sports or politics or any of that stuff. We just want to bring you back to a time where you had before marriages and divorces and jobs and kids, just like simpler time.
Hmm.
And this is what the show should be: a 2 hour break from reality.
Yes, thank you for that. Um, if you could change who starred in The Girl on TV, or like replace Jennifer Love Hewitt with someone else due to the conflict that caused, like with Carson Daly,
Yeah.
who do you think you would have picked instead?
I think Devin used to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What's her name?
Sarah Michelle
Yeah,
Gellar. Uh
well,
huh.
she would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember before Summer Girls hit, we ran into Tiffany Amber Thiessen at like a
From Saved by the Bell.
hotel. Yeah,
Uh huh.
and we again nobody knew who we were, and I think I even asked her about like maybe being in the Summer Girls video or something like that. She was just like, "Who is this guy?" But she would have been good too for that video.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Um, so little bit more emotional question. Yesterday marked 7 years since Devin's passing.
Mhm.
Um, is there anything special you do like on those days, or maybe on their birthdays for Devin and Rich?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll do is text Devin's fiance and Devin's parents and Devin's brothers, right? and then I'll text people from our world who are close to Devin, like Mike Caputo, who was like our road manager and like our fourth member, Floyd, who was our drummer on the tour we did in 2017, and was very close to Devin. And then I looked at a lot of pictures and I watched a lot of videos. Um, just there's some losses that you'll never get over. Just learn to live to get through them. But he was also my best friend, so losing him, like, it still to this day takes my breath away. So and on Rich's anniversary, I text his sister, call his mom. What I do for Christmas is the fans can buy flowers, like $2 a flower, right? And so people will buy 10, 20. So if I get $1,000, then I send $1,000 worth of flowers to Rich's mom, Devin's fiance, Devin's mom, and if I have a little left over, to Rich's sister. So that's been a tradition I've done for the last few years too. So that makes them smile.
Yeah, that is so heartfelt. Um, so don't answer this if you don't want to, but I so like you turned 50 this year. I feel like with your history and the band and the guys kind of passing young, was it like a big deal for you to turn 50 this year, or
No,
is it just another year?
no, it doesn't really make a difference to me.
Yeah.
As far as like, am I afraid that I'm next? People talk about that because Rich died, Devin died. Before Devin, there was a guy named Brian in the group, and he died too. Um, we don't really know. I mean, it's in scripture. We don't know at the time or the place. Like, it's impossible to know. And you'll see people live to be almost 90 who are in the worst shape possible. Then you have a guy like Devin who's in the best shape possible, dead in his 40s. So what can we do? We get our checkups every year, right? Um, Men definitely need their colonoscopies every however many years it might be. Get your physical, get your blood work done. Try to live as healthy a lifestyle as you can. Don't take too many chances in the way you operate in your life. I got 7 kids, so I'm especially cognizant of not taking any chances, but I'm not really a kind of a risk-taking kind of guy as it is. I'm not the skydiver or the motorcycle driver. You know what I mean?
Right.
And have your ducks in a row. If you have a family, make sure you've got life insurance, you've got a will, you've got a living will. Like, make sure that everything is set. So that's all you can do.
Right. Speaking of your children, are any of them interested in the music industry, and would you encourage that?
Yeah. So my 10-year-old just the last few days has been begging me to write a song with her. So we wrote a Christmas song 2 days ago, and my 12-year-old, and she also plays the flute in the church group, and my 12-year-old plays the violin in the church kids choir, and she's interested in acting, so she takes a couple acting classes. My 8-year-old been playing drums since he was 18 months old.
Oh wow.
And I've had him on stage a couple of times too.
Uh-huh.
The older two, they were into music more when they were younger, but not so much anymore. So I don't really care what my kids do for jobs as long as they're happy and as long as it's not illegal or immoral. But the thing is, if you're going to make a living making music, you got to set your lifestyle up so that you can do that.
Right.
Because some people make good money and some people don't. So you sort of have to act like, okay, I might not make a lot of money, so let me make sure I'm conservative in the way I set my life up.
Right.
Hopefully, you have some success and you make a decent income.
You talk about being in a dark spot after Rich and Devin's passing. How important is mental health to you, and any advice that you would give to the younger generation about mental health?
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time on our physical appearances, right? Whether it's our hair, our clothing, working out. For women, it's makeup. I mean, some men, you know, I've been known to put a tinted sunscreen on every so often. But I don't think we really give enough attention to what's going on up here, especially men. Men tend to be less vulnerable, right? So they won't really ask for help. So a lot of times it takes somebody saying, "Hey, you got to do something." So like when I do my LFO story show, which is like the full band show, I talk about it and say, listen, if you're in the darkness more than just a couple of days here and there, ask for help. If you know somebody in the darkness for too long, reach your hand out and see what you can do to help them. And a lot of times, sometimes you need medication to sort of get you over the hump, but a lot of it can just be exercising and sleeping and getting sunlight and eating right and
Right.
spending time with friends and family and doing things that you love, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, after Devin died, it was like somebody took this hood and just pulled it over my eyes. It was just, I was so dark, so dark. And I have a tendency to go back there every so often, but I know enough now to know how to pull myself out of it.
Right. Sorry, and then I just have a couple more. You worked with Lou Pearlman in the '90s,
Mhm.
and so you like knew Backstreet Boys and NSYNC like back before they like blew up in America. Are there any interesting stories that you could share, maybe specifically like about NSYNC
Yeah,
that
one
happened?
one story always sticks out was we used to all rehearse at this blimp warehouse in Orlando,
Uh huh.
and we got a chance to go overseas before NSYNC did. And I remember coming home from that like 3 day run, and Justin was at the rehearsal. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I heard the girls were screaming for you guys." Like it was so cute. Only if he only knew what was coming his way. But
Right.
yeah, that was cool.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. Um, Sorry, and then this is the last one. And if you can't do it, it's fine. But could you make up like a freestyle line with something that includes Ocean City, since that's where we are today? Maybe like one liner.
Hip hop mama, let's spick and span. I'm in Ocean City to see all the fans.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for letting me take your time up.
enjoy the show.
You